Hey guys, and warm welcome back to the channel. As you can probably tell in my voice, I also got sick. If you've been following along, my husband had to go to Texas a couple weeks ago now to drop off an airman that he had to escort to San Antonio. And he brought back the vid. It has been about 3 years since I've been sick, and we have avoided it until now, so I guess it was inevitable, but we were really hoping that's not what this was. Anyway, I'll be out of quarantine in a couple of days. He actually went back to work today. So in the meantime, we've just been kind of vegging and getting some projects done. Well, I have been. But that brings me to this video. So as you can tell in the title, I was invited to be at a Pride event this coming weekend. I had actually inquired about this some time ago when I first saw the flyer for it on Facebook, and I wasn't sure I was going to be accepted or not, but turns out they didn't know I had even requested to come, and they actually contacted me with the interest of being at this event. Naturally, I'm very excited. So this is actually going to be out the following weekend's chance at being my first time selling in person, and as long as I don't get rained out, this weekend will be. So I have been preparing some Pride event pieces, and as you can see here is a little magnetic Shrinky Dink frog. I've got lots of new stuff, some little mushroom keychains with some little baby frogs. Obviously it's Pride month, so I'm going to be doing quite a few Pride pieces until then. I had some of this started beforehand with the hopes of them contacting me, and then I kind of just stopped making so many because I wasn't sure if I was going to get to participate. And even though I would definitely put these in my regular rotation, an event like this is just a better opportunity to be able to present stuff like this, because obviously when it is a Pride event, more people in support of the LGBTQ plus will be there. And I'm really excited. They all turned out so cute. I hope you can see them. The lighting is not great today because it is raining like crazy. So anyway, I wanted to ink a few of these pieces. I will watercolor them next video. And I just wanted to show you what I'm going to do. So a lot of these will just have a rainbow wash background and will be outlined. I really love this guy. The thing about Goblin Core is that it's really popular among especially the non-binary folks, because a lot of the critters and things in like just naturally in Goblin Core have that non-binary status, and I have always known that, and I love it. I myself am straight, but 100,000% I am an ally to the whole community. I am going to do an ally flag. I figure just throw at least one little piece in there for somebody that might be there in support. You know, or maybe somebody would like to get their mom or their dad or a sibling, you know, a little thing because they're really happy to be supported. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a 0.5. Can you see that? Anyway, a 0.5 micron. The couple of designs that I chose, I don't really typically do things with words until I show you guys the stickers I'm making, but I figure this is one of the perfect times to have those sort of quotes. But I want the lettering to be nice and legible, so I am going to make it kind of thicker with this 0.5. And this is probably going to be a really short video because, as you can probably hear it in my voice, that's why I didn't want to be on screen today. And as well as we've done with it, because, you know, we both are vaccinated, especially with the military, you have to be. We did really well, despite obviously not having been sick in some time, and it's severely cramping our style from him coming back from that TDY, because we had lots of plans to get out and do some stuff, and that just didn't happen this time. I hold my pen a lot different when I am doing inkings like this, because obviously this would be like your normal way of doing stuff, but I like to bear down because these tips are flat, and I like to make sure that they are making complete contact with the paper, just so that I don't have to go over it a bunch, or if I have any gaps and things in it, they are not uneven where I have to come back and spend a lot of time rounding the corners and things off. Because once I erase the pencil marks beneath this, if I don't like the way something turned out, I'll come back in with a 01, which is super fine tipped, and kind of clean those corners and things up a little bit. But these are going to go in these frames. I have about 9 of them, so I figure I would do it almost as a collection. And that's what this marking is to know how far in my painting is actually going to be. That way, you know, things are still within the frame. But yeah, I just find it ironic that, you know, he would travel to Texas and get it. I mean, the reality of it is that he was on 6 airplanes. He was at 3 airports, 2 hotels, 2 taxi Uber situations, and then also public transportation while he was in San Antonio. So if at any time he was going to get it, it would have been this trip. It was also stressful. I was in the ER for a day just because I was having such bad vertigo that I thought I was gonna pass out. But if you're in the military community, you fully understand that the second they even say that they're leaving, stuff starts to fall apart for no reason other than, you know, it's inconvenient. You'd think that we'd be used to that by now, but honestly, you never really get used to it. I would actually love to know if anybody that follows me on here is also a military wife or a military spouse. Just curious, you know, how many other people might have found my channel because of that, or, you know, can at least resonate with it. I did sort of grow up in the military also, but I never really thought I would be married to someone in the military. My husband and I met in college, and he was a photography major, and so was I, which is how we met. And I kind of expected, you know, maybe a photojournalist or something along that lines. But photography is really difficult to find a job where you're not working for yourself, and that's not really his thing. He doesn't like having to self-promote, and I understand it's not the easiest thing to do in the world, especially if you're in an area that is not conducive to that sort of thing. Our last base was a very big problem in that sense. He would not have done well in Holloman for that, for sure. But the good thing is we were there for the military, and he did really well at that, so. I have always known I wanted to work for myself, and even though sometimes that has been the more stressful thing than to just go get a job, this is the only time I feel like things have really clicked. And I think having this channel has actually given me not just another creative outlet, but something to kind of work towards when there aren't shows or there aren't events to go to, because you know you can't do that every day. There's only so many events that a place will hold, and only so many galleries you can go to and stuff like that, and especially when you're new to an area and you don't know all those things yet. But to have 3 events coming up here in the next little bit, that's the most I've ever had going for me, if I'm honest. Oh, and another thing I am going to be working on, though I don't know if it's going to make it on the channel because it's not super relevant, but also, you know, it's going to have information in it that not all of YouTube needs to know. But my mother-in-law has asked me to work on a binder for her Airbnb in Washington. I'm really excited because I love doing binders and organizing and stuff like that. And of course, unfortunately, with this little bout of COVID, it's not really been in the forefront of my plans. But as soon as this Saturday is over, I'm gonna get back into that. I started with like some watercolor florals. That's kind of the vibe we're gonna go for. And then we'll have like all the information and stuff like that added to it a little bit later. I've always wanted to have an Airbnb, and as long as that's still like a viable thing to do in the future, because I know how things like that will change, that is actually something I really hope to do around retirement age. I would love to have an Airbnb that I could set my art up in, have a studio nearby for people to come visit, be able to decorate and clean, because those are like 2 of my favorite things to do. And then name it something Rusty Thicket, or maybe like have a couple of little houses and name one the Snail House and the Frog House. I don't know. You know, in the future that might not be what I go for, but with everything the way that it is right now, if I had an Airbnb, that's 100% what I would name them. But I'll see what she says, and if she's interested in sharing the Airbnb stuff, I will let you guys know. And then maybe when you're in Washington, you can stay at her super cute little house that she's got, if she would like for me to post about it. I think these mushrooms are going to turn out really, really cute. I love the idea of just the black outlines with like a rainbow wash in the background. It's also nice because even if these aren't necessarily for Pride, I could also just include them in my next lineup and they would just be, you know, colorful mushrooms. It's a little out of my color palette, but I do love a rainbow. We actually just saw one here on base the other day. It's the first one I've seen in Okinawa. these little lines that I do to kind of like give it some more character are my favorite part. They just, I don't know, bring out some kind of realism, or I guess maybe it's just the texture that I appreciate in it, but you know, it kind of breaks up the whole, just like lines. Also, I've only had a couple of people comment on my last video, and if you want to enter the chance to win the 50 subscriber gift basket, make sure you go to that last video, make sure you post a comment and like so that I can draw a name on Thursday, because I still plan on doing it on Thursday, and if only 2 people have said anything, then only 2 people are going to be in the running to get it, which would be great for those 2 people, but I'd hate to know that everybody else missed out, because it's got some good prizes in it this time. Even though I know I said I would do Gashapon, I just, with being sick, we haven't got to yet. So that's definitely going to be in the next one, I promise. And while I'm out there getting it for the next one, I'm going to go ahead and get a few extras just in case, and like something like this happens again. Alright, well these are going to take me a little bit more time, and I kind of want to keep this video short, especially since my voice is kind of in and out. But yeah, if you guys want to see how all of these turn out, I'm really excited to see them with color, and I will have those for you on the next video on Thursday, where I'm going to do the drawing for our 50 subscriber gift basket. So like I said, make sure you comment and like and whatever else you can to be a part of that video so that you can get on the list. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.